Toronto's real estate market is poised for a shift this summer, presenting both opportunities and potentially daunting challenges. With Bank of Canada deciding what they want to do next on July 24th, inventory building up across the board, things could change fast. And for some buyers, this could be the difference between getting in the market or being priced out. And for sellers, it could mean the difference between actually selling or just sitting on the market and becoming stale. My name's Tom Storey. I'm a real estate agent here in the city of Toronto, and the summer market in Toronto is always interesting. The kids are out of school. It's nice weather. We don't get nice weather that often here in Toronto, and our minds aren't really focused on real estate. I can even see it here directly on YouTube and on the podcast that we do every Sunday, is that the overall viewership of real estate content actually drops off in the summer. And it makes sense. People are living their lives, but some people have to buy or sell for other reasons that are not just driven by what Bank of Canada is or isn't going to do. I know this because we're currently prepping several properties for the market, and we have a ton of active buyers. Quite a few of our active buyers we've actually met on this YouTube channel. So if you watch this video and want to connect with us directly, you can do that in the first link in the description. This is not a prediction video. This is more of just an overall forecast video, giving you my best guesstimate on what I think is going to transpire over the next few months. Now, if you look back in history at the Toronto real estate market, it's pretty interesting actually. Typically 70% of the transactions happen in the first 50% of the year. So do we only have 30% of the transactions left? If that's the case, our overall sales numbers this year are going to be very low. So what do we have to watch this summer to make educated decisions as buyers and sellers? And let's start with the sector of the market that has the most for sale right now. Condo market currently has over 7,000 properties for sale here in the true city of Toronto in the 416 area code. That is a lot. Let's not sugarcoat it. If we're forecasting out what could happen over the next few months, I do actually believe that condo inventory will continue to build or at least maintain where it is. I don't think it's going to drop off yet. What about prices? I do think condo prices are going to drop a little bit over the summer, but it's not going to be this meaningful, massive drop, and I'll tell you why in a second. Of the 7,000 condos on the market right now, over 3,500 of them have been on the market over 30 days. So that alone is just the market telling those properties, hey, the way you are currently priced, we don't agree with it. We're not going to bring you an offer. If you keep digging, over 1,600 of the active condos on the market right now have been on the market over 60 days. Now, typically, when you sign a listing agreement with a real estate agent here in the city of Toronto, it's a 90-day contract. So there's a good sector of the condo market for sale right now that's getting to the middle point to the end point of that contract. And those sellers are going to have to decide what to do next. We saw this transpire actually at the end of 2023 as well. We had a ton of condo inventory on the market, and a lot of it just dropped off at the end of the year, and we were wondering when it was going to come back. Well, it's absolutely come back now. What we'll have to see as we move into September with all these listing agreements about to expire, are people going to say, okay, it's not selling at this price, we got to actually bring down our price, and then you'll see pressure on prices going down? Or are some of them just going to say, okay, well, if I can't get my price now, I'm just going to wait. And that's all going to be based on the financial situation of that seller. For downtown condos, we have over 6 months of inventory. That means only one out of every 6 property is selling every 30 days. And something that's been head scratching to me is that I've seen a ton of condo listings having offer dates, like listing at marketing prices and setting up offer dates, which just like generally when you have 6 months of inventory, that's a really bad strategy. Now, if you have something that is not cookie cutter and it doesn't come to the market that often, maybe that means you have a huge terrace or it's a really cool loft property, perhaps you can get away with this strategy, but the numbers are the numbers. And what I know is that when you set offer dates, for it to work more than half the time, meaning you actually successfully sell for a number that you're happy with, the overall inventory has to be under 2 months. Because when there's 6 months of inventory and only 15% of the active condos are selling every month, why would a buyer play these silly games if they have all these other options to choose from? And maybe the answer for some people is like, it's a really unique property, but I've been kind of surprised to see that people are still trying this strategy in today's market. I'm not sure if that's real estate agents giving that advice, because I think it's kind of bad advice generally across the board, or if it's sellers just saying, well, let's just try something different and see how it works out. In the last 2 weeks, and I'm not exaggerating on this, I've talked to 10 potential condo sellers, and 7 of those people have said to me, you know what? If I can't get this number, I'll just wait. It doesn't matter if I have to wait a year or 2 years. I'll just hold it. If it doesn't make sense to sell now, I just won't do it. And I've been kind of interested to continue to hear that opinion. There's obviously people out there right now that are in really tough spots that need to sell. Just in my day-to-day business of having these conversations, I haven't come across them yet On the resale market, I still believe very much that the real pain in the condo market, you can't see right now. It's happening in the pre-construction space. People that bought in 2021, 2022, they're trying to offload these assignments. There's a market for it if you're willing to take a 10 to 20% loss on what you purchased it for. All right, enough about condos. Let's talk about freehold properties. I think the freehold property sector will remain in a seller's market over the summer. Simply, there's just not a lot on the market for houses in good areas in Toronto. That's not a bold statement to make. Yeah, it might build up inventory a little bit over the summer, but you're not going to see major price drops or like this flood of inventory coming to the market. I think a lot of people that haven't listed at least by August would probably just hang tight and list in the first week or two of September. On the rental side of things, you've seen reports from rentals.ca saying that Toronto rental prices are going down month over month and year over year are going down. Now that's 2 to 3% potentially year over year. What I've noticed over the years of doing this is that rental market is usually pretty hot in the summer. People are trying to make moves. So I'd expect that to continue in the city of Toronto. The final thing I wanted to mention is August. Okay, so when people ask me like, Tom, what is a bad time to list my property for sale? Typically, I would say between August 15th and September 1st, and between December 15th and January 1st. Those are bad times. People are not thinking about real estate. For the summer, for the end of August, people are just, they're not thinking about it, right? They're living their lives. They're enjoying cottages and things like that. Or they're going to baseball games and patios. They're not thinking about real estate. That's my answer to sellers. And if you're a buyer, if it's in the condo space, well, you already have a ton of options, but you could be even more aggressive on your offers, meaning lower offers between that timeline. If you're a buyer that's been trying to compete in this freehold townhouse, semi-detached, detached market in these prime areas of Toronto, and you've lost out on a few because those properties are still getting multiple offers, I'm telling you, if you go out in August and start being aggressive in terms of not offering more money, that's not what I mean, but being aggressive in terms of like going and viewing properties because other people aren't. If someone listed their house for sale between August 15th and September 1st, that tells me they bought already. If they bought already, then they have more motivation to sell, maybe for even a lower price than they would have taken previously because they already bought and they just want to move on. Or perhaps they just got bad advice, but you as a buyer should take advantage of that. If you are looking to buy this year, make sure to watch our video on how to never overpay for a property here in the city of Toronto. Again, my name's Tom Storey, and remember, home is where your story begins.